Hey everybody, it's been a little while since we've done the live stream thing, and I figured I would take a second on this Memorial Day weekend. I have a moment, I'm running some errands, and I figured I would just sort of say hi. Now, I have to tell you, I considered doing this stream a couple of times, and I wanted to say something about Memorial Day and what's behind it, and yet I felt like, I don't know, I start and stop the stream a couple of times because I felt like I needed to, I don't know, do something significant or deeply, I don't know, like as if I wouldn't do the topic or the event justice just by talking about it. And then I realized that, you know, maybe I would, maybe it didn't matter if it was overblown. Maybe what was important was that there was something to be said here. And I wasn't sure even what I wanted to say. I've written some things over the years, and later on today I'll repost one of them into my Facebook stream. Something I wrote, geez, I looked at it now and it's like way back in 2005 or 2007 or something. But anyway, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to say about this. Obviously, it's heartbreaking to think of the lives and the talent and the people that have been lost over the years, over the centuries. It's impossible to think in terms of millennia. You just can't really keep it in your head. You wind up inevitably thinking of the people you knew and the people who were important to the people you know and knew, who maybe have lost their lives in one conflict or another, defending something they felt or they held dear, a truly held belief. And so I wasn't really sure how to even enter into that topic. I myself was spent a little bit of time in the military back in the 1984, 85. We were pretty sure that it was our generation that was going to be defending Europe and America from the Soviet Union. And so, you know, out of high school, I went off and did the tank thing, and it seemed reasonable to do so. But fortunately, you know, I was never called upon, nor I nor my friends. We never had to face that. I know a lot of people in their 18 to 30s now who have seen service and who have lost people that were close to them. And while that's not a loss I personally have suffered, I see its effect on them, and I see how it shapes them. And these are incredible people, and I don't know, it humbles me to hear them talk about it. And I want to say something supportive, but I don't really know what I have to offer. I don't know what's, you know, I didn't serve that way, and I don't have friends, close friends like of my generation, like people I went to high school with, people I grew up with. None of those people that I remain close to served that way. I only have this current group of friends and mentors and the people who shaped my lives, and all of those people that lost people in service, and I'm incredibly grateful for them. And I just don't know what I have to offer those people by way of solace on a day like today. And as that was all like swirling around in my head, that, you know, how do you talk to the people who are incredibly important to you? How do you talk to the people who are incredibly close to you? How do you talk to those people who have spent decades teaching you, or those people you maybe are helping, or in some small way mentoring? What do you say when they've lost people in combat, and you have maybe not felt it the way they have? And I don't know. I came to the conclusion I don't have any good answers, and I don't really feel like I have much of a place to speak. So, what to talk about on Memorial Day? And I watched something on Saturday evening, about the guys who are going through the training to be guards at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. And the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is something that I don't necessarily know that many people spend an enormous amount of time thinking about, but it stands as a proxy for everyone who maybe has perished unnoticed or unknown, and then by extension everyone who has died, in this particular case for the United States. And I watch these guys and they go through, if I understand it correctly, 9 months or something of this incredibly rigorous training, and it's physical, but it's mostly mental, and how to get their uniform perfect, and how to walk in a very specific way, and how to drill in a very specific way, and how to hold the rifle and speak and act, and where to look, and all the tradition that's been built up over time. And as you watch this, you realize that most of the rigorous torture, most of the pain, because it's, does it make you a more effective guard to only take 15 steps across the front of the tomb as opposed to 20? Does it make you a more effective soldier to always take 20 exactly every time instead of 19? No. Does it make you more effective in your duties if your glove is exactly perfectly straight and there are no rolls in your seams, or your medals are exactly? No. And I don't think when the detail was created that all of these rules existed then. I believe that an enormous amount of this tradition that's been codified into rules grew over time. And you wonder, on the surface, why put yourselves through that? Why do it? And then you hear them speak of this. And the word that comes over the air time after time after time is vigil. And you realize the point is the effort. The point is the difficulty. The point is the relentless pursuit of perfection as tribute, as sacrifice. In and of itself, the fact that they are endlessly striving to be perfect by even nominal standards, to put all that effort every day to stand there in the snow and in a very real way be focused on that duty in a way that they wouldn't have to be if everything didn't have to be perfect. And yet that pursuit of that perfection forces mindfulness. It forces you to be present. You can never take that detail for granted. It can never be strictly routine. That level of perfection requires constant mental vigilance. And there's that word, vigilance. Vigil. Mindfulness, awareness of what one's doing and where one is and what is happening. And that's the gift that they give. That's the duty and the sacrifice that they offer, that they will constantly hold themselves to a standard that forces complacency to go, to be lost, to eradicate complacency. And that those men who cannot hold that standard of mindfulness, those men who cannot be present and aware and vigilant in that way, those men who will not put forth that effort, they don't survive to be in that detail. The men who will not hold that mindset will not pull that duty. And that was something, to hear it in their voice was incredible. And that idea that they would spend 9 months learning this stuff and taking the tests and going through the torture, and then to spend, I think it's between 1.5 and 3 years on duty doing that job, that's incredible. and that level of awareness of the people that came before them, that level of tribute, that level of dedication, that's humbling too. I've used that word before, and you can't help but wonder if you could do it, you know. And I think if you're honest with yourself, you have to say, you would, I don't know, you know. I mean, could I probably, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that duty is right for me. It would be arrogant to just blithely say yes. But you listen to their voices and you see their eyes and you see the reverence in which they hold the lost brothers and comrades and sisters who they never met in many ways. They know only as names on a headstone, because there's a cemetery behind the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. So obviously many of the people they're near when they're on duty, they do know the names of, and you're drawn in, you're captivated by their dedication. And I hope I could be that good a person. I hope I can revere those people and those things that I'm supposed to, that I should, that I know are worth it. I hope I can do that. I hope I have that in me if I'm ever called to do it. But I feel that way about Memorial Day overall. And maybe that's the point of what I'm trying to say here, is though if you're listening to this and if you're watching this, and obviously if I'm speaking it, then we are not the people that Memorial Day is about. That we have Veterans Day and we have other days, and obviously in my heart every day are the people that serve. Memorial Day is for the people who can't watch this video. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Just that you watch the eyes of these guys and the reverence they have for this duty, and you're drawn into that, and you hope you could be that good a person if you need it to be. And Memorial Day is that way as well. There's reverence and there's vigil, and you can be confident in your beliefs, and you can be strong in what you know to be right, and you can be sure of yourself, and I am. And you can be at peace with your courage, and I am. And you can be comfortable with your dedication level, and I am. But you don't know. You hope that if you had to, you would perform the way many of these men did, and that you would hold to your beliefs even at that expense. And I think we can all be very, very sure of ourselves, but it would be slightly arrogant to not wonder and aspire. Aspiration requires the idea that you can be better. And so I would never want to be complacent in this. I would always want to aspire to make sure that you're honoring the memory of the people who deserve it, that you're thankful to the people who you know were prepared if that necessity had come, and thankful for the fact that it hasn't for the people you care about, that it didn't, and you can hope that it never will. But this day, I don't know. It's a weekend of barbecues, and it's a weekend of flags, and it's a weekend of celebration, and it should be. Celebration should be what this is, not simply morose, sense of loss, but there needs to be some awareness of, what paid for the barbecue, what paid for the country you're in. And despite all the contention, there's no place like it. So that's my thoughts on Memorial Day. And much of what I've said applies to soldiers throughout history in many places in the world. Anyway, I hope you guys had a great weekend or are having a great weekend since it's Monday and a lot of people have the day off. I hope you, got a chance to spend time with great people, but I hope you took a minute and thought about what it is we're really doing here this weekend. All right, folks, take it easy, and you will hear from me again this week.